Okay, I'm back again. We're finding an area under the curve now with raw values. And when I say raw values, I mean numbers that are not 0, 1, 2, 3, -1, -2, not z-scores. These are raw scores. This is a values. This was, excuse me, a standardized test where the mean of the values was 52. And then from there, our standard deviation, let's see, those are going up by 6. So we have mean, an x bar of 52, and we have a standard deviation of 6, whatever these units are. So I want to know a couple of things. The first thing we're going to look at, let's determine what percent of our population scored between, our people randomly drew some numbers, and we want to know what percent of our students of our school, let's say, fell between a 45 and a 65. What percent fell between 45 raw scores and 65? Okay, now if you want to stop the video and see if you can determine that yourself, do that. Feel free. I'll pause just a moment. Okay, enough dramatic effect. So we're looking at right about, let's see, probably right about here. That's going to be where I'm going to say 45 is. And then 65 is going to be right here past that. So now let's think for just a moment. We know between here and here is what percent? Between 1 and 1 standard deviation above and below. So that's 68%. So we know this percent is going to be larger than that. And we can add this 13 and a half, and why we get even larger. And we have just a small bits here. But let's let the calculator do some work for us. So here we go. So we're looking at finding the area under the curve. So second distribution. I forgot there's a glare with that thing. Second distribution. Move that right there. That ought to work. Excuse me. So with our second distribution, we're doing number 2. Well, that's funny. So we're going to use the second button, the normal CDF. Now, again, from left to right, lowest to biggest. Our lowest is 45. Our largest is 65. Okay, so we're finding between 45 and 65, our upper and lower numbers. Lower and upper numbers would be a better way to say that, Pruitt. Now, here's where things change. Is my mu 0? Is my mean 0? No, my mean is 52. And what's my standard deviation? Well, my standard deviation is 6 because we determined to get from one of these lines to the other, that's a 6, a difference of 6. And so now we're going to paste this, and here we go. We have a normal distribution between 45 and 65. Whoops, I said 65 and wrote a 64, sorry. With a mean of 52 and a standard deviation of 6. And so that ends up being approximately 86.3%. 86.3%. Okay, so that's finding the area under the curve with raw values. So let's determine, just for the heck of it, what percentile rank is 65. Let's determine, let's say that you scored a 65 on this test, whatever it might be, and you want to know, okay, where do I fall compared to everybody else? Well, obviously you're out here. There's 1, 2 standard deviations, so that means what? Guess what? You're unusual. Is that a bad thing? Oh my word, no. Not now, it's not. You scored higher than most people. Now, we don't know what these raw values mean. This could be how obese you are. Is that unusual? Oh my word, yep. That's not a good thing to be up here. That's bad obese. This could be how much money you're expected to make in the next year. Ooh, then let's see, now we're talking money, $65,000 in the next year. There's a difference there. It all depends on what these numbers represent. Right now, they don't mean anything, but that we have to use a calculator to find the percentile rank for 65. So our question is, what percentile rank is a 65? Sorry. So we're looking from here to the left. Okay, we're looking from here this way. Well, we're not stopping at 45. We're stopping way off over here. See, it's not even showing up on the page. So let's think about, with our distribution here, our normal CDF, what number do we want to put way over here on the left? Well, there's a lot of different things. There's really an infinite number you can pick, but we're talking about these scores here. And as we're going down, it would only make sense that the farther left we go, we get a 0. So I'm going to make that number 0. If you want to make it negative, make it negative. But these are scores, rankings of something. The smallest you can go is 0. So we're going to make that 0. Now my upper is still 65. We're still there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and type 65 anyhow to make sure we understand that. My mean is still 52. My standard deviation is still 6. So now this will tell us what percent a 65, what's the percentile rank of a 65 on whatever this model represents. And so that's the 98th percentile. And we're going to write it as that. I'm not going to say approximately 98.4 or 98.5. I'm going to go ahead and whole number here, always rounding down with them. It's a 98th percentile. I'm not going to give you the 99th. The 99th would be somewhere out right over here. So that's the 98th percentile. Okay, I hope that helps. I hope you have a great rest of the day.